All right, let's get right to it. 2:34 in the afternoon. I got to fix my headphones here. I don't know. That's a little better. 67 degrees, 2:34 in the afternoon. There's an interesting story here in conservatives4palin.com, C4P, I call it for short. Rebecca Mansour is one of the writers there. Rebecca, welcome to the program.
Hello, Eddie. How are you?
And it's a story in reference to Jay Ramras. Representative Ramras is on the line with this. Representative Ramras, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Eddie.
Yes, thank you so much for... Hey, by the way, I stayed at your hotel up there, and I really like that place. I tell you what, it's pretty cool. You got those flat-screen TVs in each room, and it's actually a pretty nice place. I encourage people, if they go to Fairbanks, to stay there at Pike's Place. So I was there with the Iron Dog year before last. And
yeah, we love hosting the finish line. It's a great race.
Yeah, you bet. Rebecca Mansour wrote an article, and it talked about $170,000 stock purchase before one of the votes on AGEA, or whether or not TransCanada would be the company to get the pipeline construction. Rebecca, in summary, lay out your story first and tell folks what your story entailed.
Well, I was just saying, actually, Congressman Ramras actually voted.
Representative Ramras, State House Representative.
Excuse me, Representative. Sorry, Representative Ramras actually voted for AGEA, but he did not vote for giving the license to AGEA to TransCanada. And the license vote was in July of 2008, and in August of 2008, less than a month later, he purchased 3,000 shares of stock in BP to a little over $170,000, and it seemed to be a bit of the appearance of a conflict of interest, or the appearance of impropriety.
Well, it's not a conflict of interest, Rebecca. And
okay.
I don't know where you're from, or any of you creepy, sleazy people from Conservatives for Palin are from, but I'll tell you, myself and other members of the state legislature are sure tired of being bashed by some shadowy group that's mysteriously funded from all people that live out of state, that are expert on Alaskan statute and Alaska rules, and I followed the rules meticulously. I don't need somebody from out of state who doesn't have residency here challenging my integrity.
Okay, well, so Representative Ramras,
I'd be happy to hear you.
But we need to be clear on the fact she doesn't live here. Nobody knows where she came from, or who this nutcase group of hers is that just spread hate, vitriol all
Representative Ramras, if you may, then I've been here for 40 years, okay?
And I can't.
All right, I've been here since I was 9 years old. The fact is, so we've established that you and I are longtime Alaskans, all right?
Indeed we are.
Okay,
Indeed we are.
And I have 4 children here and 3 grandchildren and all that, okay?
Yeah.
So, all right. You did buy stock. You voted for AGEA, and you did buy 3,000 shares, which equals to about $170,000 worth of stock in BP. You also, during that time frame, you voted against TransCanada becoming the gas pipeline builder in favor.
Actually, that's not the timeline. Actually, he purchased that after he voted against TransCanada. I just wanted to give the representative the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. But you have to admit
the introduction of legislation during the last session that looked to be aimed at undermining AGEA.
Hey, you guys are crazy if you think that a bill sponsored in the Alaska legislature is going to move the share price of one of the largest multinationals in the world. And I'm deeply offended even to be challenged that I would do anything other than uphold the oath that I took to the Alaska State Constitution. I followed the rules meticulously. I've declared conflicts of interest on the floor in the committee when we are in session. I remind you, we're only in session from January through April. I have followed the rules meticulously. It's deeply offensive to me to have my integrity challenged by somebody who doesn't live here. Eddie, if you challenge my integrity as a pimp for Governor Palin, you can do it all day long.
As a pimp?
Listen to you.
Are you kidding me?
Disagree with you.
Representative Ramras, you just called me a pimp?
I will not. Eddie, it's widely known that
I'm sorry,
that you are a tremendous advocate for
this
administration. And and good for you if that's the role that you want to play. And I will sit and go tit for tat with you. But these folks from conservative Salem are frightening people. They just did a 5-day telethon, and Rebecca and some of her cohorts went all over the country on G. Gordon Liddy programs, raising $150,000 for some fund that's going to have undisclosed sums in it up to $150, and then the list goes out, or God knows what. These are not Alaskans. They're meddling in Alaskan affairs. I'm very happy to stand toe-to-toe with you, Eddie. But let
me do this, Representative Ramras, and please don't filibuster. But here's the deal: is that I'm not saying you did something wrong. Okay, that's not my deal here.
Well,
but you have. But wait a minute. No, Representative Ramras, Representative Ramras, I let you speak, and I've been very kind and all that, and professional with you. And here's the deal: it is interesting, or the perception that you bought this stock right in the middle of these really kind of, I think, interesting votes. And that why would you buy this stock? Eddie. It's perception, Mr. Representative Ramras.
It's your perception, and you're entitled to it. But it's not an accurate read. It doesn't coincide with the timeline. I bought it because I was day trading it because there was a problem with the gas pipeline in Kazakhstan, or Russia was going to shut off a BP gas line for 3 or 4 days, and then it didn't work out. And then the whole American financial system crumbled, like most Americans. I stuck holding stock that I would have otherwise day traded for a couple of days, and I got stuck for months and months until our financial system recovered, and it went through dividend cycles. And that's how I ended up holding BP for a longer period of time.
You don't think people should be concerned at all that here we have a sitting representative who right through very important votes, even days or weeks before or after.
The vote was over.
I understand that, but you're buying stock in between votes, and it's interesting.
There weren't any more votes to be had, Eddie.
I understand.
I'm sorry, so what about the introduction of your legislation last March?
I'm looking out for
Do you
Alaska.
still hold the stock?
AGEA is look. AGEA and the notion of this TransCanada teaming up with Exxon may very well work. But my objections have long been stated. I have those objections of many of my colleagues regarding the state participating with $500 million out of our treasury, and you better believe that I'm going to continue doing that. You know, I'm born and raised here. I don't know where you're from, Rebecca. Where are you from? Where are you calling from? And how many days have you spent in the state of Alaska? For those of us that were born here and care about this state...
You're deflecting the question. This is a non sequitur. All you're doing is pounding the desk and calling me all sorts of ridiculous names. It's really ridiculous. You're not making your case, sir. You're just...
You are proposing a when did you stop beating your wife question. It's an impossible question. It's an impossible question to answer.
But aren't you, as a representative, supposed...
You have other options than to take out that much stock in a company like this. I mean, it has the appearance of impropriety.
No, it doesn't.
There were other options.
Look at the other holdings that are reported at the same time. Look at the other holdings. They're consistent with the size of the other holdings that I had. I had 2,000 shares of MasterCard that I bought at $240 a share.
Yeah, but they didn't have legislation.
3,000 shares in Exxon as well, then I would say okay. Do you have 3,000 shares in any of the other oil companies? I mean, come on. That's what the question is, sir.
Where are you from, Rebecca?
Hey, do you have any other shares in any other company, sir?
I've got a lot of holdings in a lot of different companies, Eddie, and did
MasterCard have any legislation before the Alaska State Legislature, as you alluded to, that you had stock in MasterCard?
Yes, Gene Theriault sponsored a bill, and John Coghill helped him on identity theft.
Identity theft. So therefore, we're supposed to believe that has something to do when remote.
Eddie, what did you think was going to happen? What did I bought the stock and I got buried in it, like most Americans. We're citizen legislators. You are trying to suggest or intimate that I'm not an honest person, and I'm just so deeply offended. But I wanted to come on your show so I could spend a couple of minutes and certainly speak to you about it. But I'm an honest person. I work hard. I've worked 100 hours a week most of my adult life, and I serve the state because I believe in public service. And I have been very blessed in many ways, not with children and grandchildren like you, and I'm I'm very happy for you. But I've worked hard, and I've
sir, we've all worked hard. I've worked hard too. I appreciate you working hard. And I used to be a chief of staff in the Alaska State Legislature, and so I'm pretty familiar with the process and all. But Representative Ramras, I give you all the benefit. I'm giving you all the benefit of the doubt. But you just for someone to buy $170,000 worth of stock,
3,000 shares of stock. It's all relative to how much money you have in an account that you're working with.
And you know what? I talked to my wife about that. Hey, you listen, if you got a lot of money, $170,000, maybe like $5,000 to me. You know what I mean? So I get all that, and I think that's a good point. But you're a sitting representative with legislation in your committee. You're voting on legislation and you're participating in the largest gas pipeline project in North America, and you're sitting there buying $170,000 worth of shares and voting.
Eddie.
Come on, Representative Ramras, you got to appreciate that there's some concern over this.